Welcome to the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome back to another episode of Buzzer Beater Friday on the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast. I'm Terry Cameron. Before we get started, I hope everybody had a great Independence Day. But you know what? It's time to get back to work, and we have to sell some cars. This weekend, I want to talk to you about the customer that complains or objects about price. A show of hands, how many of you had a customer leave or at least object because the price was too high? Now ask yourself, how many of them paid cash? Not very many. I think the statistic says that 85% of customers, depending upon where you're at, finance the vehicle. So don't let price be an objection to cost you a sale. You just have to know how to handle that. Remember, it doesn't matter what objection you're overcoming. If you haven't done what you're supposed to do in those first 45 minutes of the process, meeting the customer the right way and greeting them, doing a really good presentation and demonstration and answering the questions that are important to them, then it doesn't matter how good your closing skills are. They're probably not going to buy it from you. So let's get back to this. The customer that complains on the price. Keeping in mind that they're probably financing the vehicle, whether it's with you or their own financial institution. I've used this close for many, many years, and it works if you do it right. So let's talk about it. Customer says the price is too high, or you ask the customer what's holding them back and they tell you the price is too high. The first thing you have to do is you have to rephrase that into something smaller. It's much easier dealing with a monthly payment or a budget than it is the price of the car. So your close should sound something like this. Customer objects to the price, or you draw it out of them by asking them what is keeping them from doing business right now, and they tell you that it's the price. You just say, hey, I understand. I mean, it's a big decision. But Mr. and Mrs. Customer, let me ask you this. Are you going to be financing the car, or are you going to be paying cash? Well, we'll be paying cash, they say. Well, then it sounds like you're just like me and everybody else. You're on a budget, right? So if we sit here and fiddle with those figures, get it to fit into your budget, is there anything else keeping us from wrapping this up today and you start enjoying your car this weekend? Put all this shopping behind you. Chances are the customer is going to tell you no. Or they could say, well, yes, that's not the color that I wanted either. Well, then that just makes it easier. Now you've got everything you need to know to close them right now. So again, it would be, so Mr. and Mrs. Customer, if we got this to fit into your budget today and we could get the color that you want, would there be anything else keeping us from wrapping this up? It's real simple. You just have to use it. Don't let them leave without reducing that price objection down to a budget. Now, what do you do if the customers are paying cash? Well, you say almost exactly the same thing. So instead of saying, it sounds to me like you're on a budget, if they're paying cash, you're going to tell them, it sounds to me like you have a budget. So if we could sit here and fiddle with these figures, get that to fit into your budget, is there anything else keeping us from wrapping this up right now? They're either going to tell you no, or they're going to tell you everything else that's keeping them from making that decision. But I always say, if they leave without buying, that's one thing, but shame on us if they leave without buying and we don't know why. So try this, rephrasing from price to budget. Again, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July holiday, got to see some fireworks, spend some time with the family, but now it's time to get back to work. Let's have a real strong weekend, sell some cars, and have some fun. Remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.